Hey, good morning, guys. Team COVID. Fight, fight, fight. Welcome back to another, whatever it is, the road to recovery, life with COVID. Um, just waking up. I feel pretty good. Um, I feel like I can up and move around. The mornings usually, at times, will start out where I do feel good at first. Until the day gets started, I kind of dip a little, go down a little. But I have my meds that I have to take throughout the day. And by the time I go to the process of taking them at certain times of the day, I get a little pep in my step again. But the thing with the meds is that they just subside what you're feeling and what you're going through. Sorry about that. That's probably going to happen a few times. But it just subsides stuff. It doesn't really fix it or anything like that. Because, like I said, um, you got to kind of fight to go through stuff. To get through stuff, I should say. You got to put the work in. The drugs alone, the medication alone is not going to really stop anything, so to speak. For example, while I was hospitalized, they had me on a few things. Remdesivir, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, was one of the main drugs that they had me on. And the very first dose of it was like a heavy dose. And then the rest were single units every single day. And that was done intravenously. Now, basically, with the remdesivir, if I'm saying it correctly, um, what it does is that it doesn't stop the COVID, it doesn't kill it, it just keeps it from spreading further in your body because it starts out as respiratory and slowly starts to work its way down. So that drug just basically stops it from spreading further inside your body. And then you have a steroid thing, like 3 pills that they give you that you got to take. I can't remember the pronunciation of it, but it's a steroid that's supposed to kind of open up your chest cavities and kind of make you feel good. It covers whatever you're feeling, but it's supposed to open up. And then, of course, I wasn't walking. Um, so, on top of not walking, I was getting, I think the other one is called Lovenox or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's something with an L, something with an Ox. And I was getting injections in my stomach every single day because I wasn't walking. And that was to help with, to prevent clots. Because when I originally came in through the emergency room and I was in the triage, during the process of them, trying to figure out the whole 9 yards, for some reason I started passing out on them. And they did a great job. Everybody jumped into action. You know, the good part was that it was a feeling that I recognized. So I was able to say something as it started to come over me, as it started to happen. And they jumped into action. Everything was done to me in the chair. And I hear one guy was saying, I could still kind of hear, but I wasn't like really alert. And while they were working on me, I just hear one guy say, he's not coming out of it. He's not coming out of it. And then another person was like, look how he's sweating. He's sweating really, really bad. Those were like the two main things that I remember hearing. He's not he's not coming out of it, and he's sweating really, really bad. And I know at one point they were propping me up to do like a chest x-ray immediately in the chair where I was sitting at. And all type of instructions was just being thrown at me. I'm hearing, but I'm not like really responding, but I'm still kind of hearing what's going on. So since that episode, they originally had me on what's the term? They had the alarms on the bed, to sum it up. I can't remember the term. Fall risk. Fall risk. They had me listed as a fall risk. So once I was admitted and everything and finally got my room hours later, I was just listed as a fall risk. So throughout the process, I never really got the opportunity to walk, and then always laying down so I could try to feel good. So that's how I ended up starting getting the Lovenox shots every day in my stomach to help prevent blood clots and make sure that when I get to the point I can literally like move. And it was like a couple of days later, different shift, different nurse, but they were all great, all wonderful. She came in at 2 o'clock in the morning and she's like, "We need you to walk to the bathroom." And I was like, "Okay, I'm willing to try." And she's like, "What do you mean, you haven't walked?" And I was like, "No, I haven't walked." And she's like, "Okay, get up and walk right now." And I'm like, "Okay, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning." And she's like, "I want to see you walk. Get up." Get up and walk. It was kind of funny in a way, but it was like, "Okay, you're here. You'll help me and whatever." So I got up. I put my brave shoe on, my brave face, because in my head I'm like, I can walk real good, no problem at all. So I got up and she's like, "Walk across the room. I want to see you walk." And I was shaky as hell. And she's like, "Okay, back in the bed. We're gonna put the alarm back on. You're still a fall risk. So whatever you need, if you need to sit up, you need to go to the bathroom, whatever the case may be, call us. We'll come and help you." So I was back to being in bed and back to being laying around. And fast forward again, this pulmonary doctor came in and introduced herself really, really fast. This was just someone that you knew. She was just in there for the money. The moment she entered my room, my name goes on the list to fatten her check. This woman was seriously just pulmonary doctor. She was just in it for the money. She didn't give a shit. All the other staffs, everybody else, wonderful job. She just was there for the money. And literally, it happened in like 20, 25 seconds. The story will probably take longer to say, but she came in, knock, Dr. whatever the hell she said her name is. And why are you here? What brought you here? And this and that. And at first I kind of paused because I'm looking at her like, "You're in my room. You should have read my charts. You should know why I'm here." But I wasn't a smartass to begin with. So I began to start to tell her why I'm here and how I was feeling and what brought me here. And as I start talking, she's backing up already. She's taking off her protective gown because I'm in a protective COVID room. And she's already taken off her gown. She's already taken off her gloves. As I'm answering, she's backing up away from me. And then she stops right before going to the door after getting everything off. And she's like, "I'm going to order remdesivir and whatever else." Now, this was before I knew exactly everything that I was given down in the emergency room. But I know they had given me some stuff. So I said to her, "Is that stuff that I've had already?" Because I know stuff was given to me downstairs in the emergency room. And with certain meds, there's a time frame. You can't just keep giving, giving, giving. But I'm sure pharmacies usually on top of it, but it's the way she said it. And I asked if this was something I've gotten already before. And she looks directly at me before going out the door. And her answer was, "I don't know." So now I'm like, you come into my damn room, you're asking me What's wrong? What's going on? Why am I here? That's number one, red flag. You didn't read my charts. And number two, I ask you about a drug that you want to put me on, and your answer to me is, I don't know. That's something you should never say to a patient's two things. So that just sent me over the edge. Now, I've been in the medical field for a few years. And when you work in a hospital, regardless of your job title, you tend to pick up shit as you go. And I would highly recommend that for anybody that works in a hospital. Don't just learn whatever your title is. Learn things that's in your surroundings. Be knowledgeable is the word I'm looking for. Just be knowledgeable of things. And that's what I always try to do, regardless of my job title. I've worked for hospitals, laboratories, private companies, medically. So I learn what I can as I can go. So when certain things are being said or conversations are being had in front of you, you're at least knowledgeable of what's coming out of their mouth, and you can put two and two together and at least get an understanding for yourself. Because a lot of the doctors, when they come in the room, they're going to spurt off a lot of things and they're out. The bill is going to be bigger than the time they actually spent with you. And that was the moment I was having with that pulmonary doctor. So try to learn things as you go. It will be beneficial for you. So I called a nurse and I told her what happened and that, it rubbed me the wrong way. And I don't want this person coming back to my room because I felt she didn't read my charts and she wants to push drug that she don't even know if it's already in my system. And that it just didn't sit well with me at all. It really didn't. You can clearly tell who's in the medical field because it's a passion and they love what they do and they look forward to it. And you have other individuals that have absolutely no business being in the medical field. And you have the third sets of assholes that is just there for their pockets only. They don't care anything about you, what you're dealing with, what you're going through, your thoughts, your opinion. And her body language, she just didn't give a damn. She was there just to put your name on her payroll. And believe me, it's going to be on there. And the bill is going to be bigger than the 25 seconds she spent in my room. But she never came back after that. After I made the complaint and I told the nurse how I felt, and the nurse kind of agreed. I guess she's seen this doctor before and how she operates and whatever. But I didn't want her coming back to my room. I was prepared for her to come back because I was going to let her know that I just wasn't a patient in a bed that's going to say, yeah, sure, okay, all right, no problem. I get not everything is in my field, but I am knowledgeable of some stuff. And you wasn't going to just take advantage of my sickness to fill your pockets. So I'm really glad that she did not come back and she got the message. And hopefully, there's a better version of her for a patient that truly needs to have a one-on-one conversation, a real medical conversation, and feel like they got some sort of substance out of it. But she ain't the one. That pulmonary doctor is not the one. But I am going to give praise to everybody else, all the nurses, the CNAs, the food and nutrition, everybody that had a hand in my journey to the road to recovery. They did a fantastic job. And now the torch has been passed over to me. I was discharged from the hospital, but I'm still on quarantine. I'm sent home to be quarantined. I'm sent home to continue to recover. So I'm doing the best I can on this journey, and I want to thank you guys for joining me on this journey. Life with COVID, the road to recovery. And I'm trying my best to make a video every day to show the progress. I'm so proud of myself right now. I'm sitting up talking for almost 15 minutes. Couldn't do that a couple days ago. That's definitely a sign of improvement. So, as simple as this seems, I am so thankful and so grateful that I am literally sitting up talking right now. And I want to take that positivity and run with it and push because I got to be better. I got to be stronger. I got to be faster. $6 Million Man. It was a great TV show, but right now it's a hell of a motivation. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Life with COVID, The Road to Recovery. I'm Tim Henry, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a blessed Sunday.